look at that. I'm making another video, and today it's hero time. Hero time. And we're actually starting the video of collection with this thing. This thing, as you can probably tell, not really. It's a thing. It's one of these like Omnitrix toys. This is the only Omnitrix that I own, by the way. This is the only one that I'm going to show you in this video. It's the one that came with the disc that lets you see like the transformation sequence of the different aliens. You can kind of see it moving. You can kind of see it moving there. Here is a mirror to get the light to go in there and everything. Look at yourself in there. And to see the transformation, you need to use these tiny cookies. Look at these cookies, and it has a compartment for your cookies. Also, something very funny is that because these toys were made very early into production of the series, and they were supposed to show you like the transformation of the aliens, but a lot of these aliens didn't even have a proper transformation by the time they were making the toys. So some of them show you a proper transformation, and some of them just show you, oh yeah, look, poop, alien. This one especially is one of the ones that came with the thing, which basically just has like random images. Like here's Diamond Head, here is forearms, here is Ghost Freak. Just random pieces of things that they had around. Especially the one for Gray Matter. I could really tell that it's basically just oh Ben, oh Gray Matter, he's there, jumps. That is basically a horde like cookie. But yeah, I feel like there is no better way to start this video, like really get it going, than with Ben Tennyson himself in human form. I like how this figure is surprisingly well articulated, especially when we are going to compare it with the rest of the figures. And they really took the time and detail to paint this thing properly. It's very surprising. And he can do the matrix. But yeah, he has articulation on his knees. Use this articulation here. Articulation on his head. And he comes with the skateboard that is supposed to be a hoverboard, but I guess it's a lot more fun that they put the wheels, you know. They could have just made it up a board and basically for him to stand, but you know what, I like it. Also everything has like legal information in the back. Everybody has that. You can see the serial number. Apparently based in the number you can tell where this figure was made on. If it's in the 1, you can tell it's made in the US. It's made for like the USA because everything is made in China. The next figure is one of the first one that I ever had. I think this is actually the first one I ever had, and that is Hit Blast. He has barely any articulation on his head because he has this thing. His hands, his thing. He has articulation on his knees. Everything is very nice. I tried to only there in Ben 10 there is the 2 lines that they did, that the ones had like translucent parts. I only collected the first run. For most figures you're going to see some exceptions. And yeah, something very fun about this figure is that this is actually the second one I own of this guy, because when I bought the first one that I had, I was playing with it and this piece broke and his leg fell off and I had to buy another one. Isn't that fun? Very fun. And now we have Stinkfly. I need to make a video about all of the different like names, difference between the Spanish dub and the English original. it will be pretty fun. I hope no one has done it already. But yeah, this figure has a lot of articulation. It's very fun to use, very fun to play with. This is another one that I have from my childhood. And yeah, the second version that they did of him apparently had the mouth painted, but didn't have the tiny gloves. It's a whole thing. Also, I like how the legs are like separate, like articulation. Like they could have just made it like legs normally, but like just have him unable to move like a pair of legs. But I like that they gave him like different articulations, and only these ones move like this. Yeah, pretty fun. The next figure is another one that I have from my childhood, and this one is Wildmutt. I had a hard time remembering his name because it's very different from the Spanish name. Also, I like how his head can rotate, but right now it's very hard to move. I don't know why. Move, please. Move. Move. Why are you stuck? Figure, please don't make me look bad. I know you have articulation in there. Why are... I guess he decided that he doesn't want to have articulation in the neck anymore. Fine by me, I guess. And yeah, he only has like 5 points of articulation. He doesn't get to have knees because he's a weird dog, I guess. Really, I'm scared of turning it. Why is it so tight? But yeah, not much to say. The Omnitrix is really well, like, you can really see it, to say in a way. And now the next figure that I also had from my childhood, I only had 6. I didn't have this one, by the way. I just had to start with that one. It's Ghost Freak. Due to having a lack of legs, he only has 4 points of articulation. You know, he could have had the extra articulation going in his arms or something, but no. No. Something that I have to mention also is that he originally came with like a base and everything, but I don't have it. I have the base. Maybe I will show it later. But yeah, I don't have the tiny arm that will connect over here. I lost it. Things that happen when you were a child, I guess. And finally, the last figure that I had from my childhood. Oh no, I forgot one. I had 6 of them, yeah. It's Gray Matter. Gray Matter gets extra articulations. He has more rights to have those, I suppose. Also, because he is so tiny and so fragile, I had to put glue because otherwise he won't stand up. He falls all the time, like his legs will start like moving on their own. So I basically had to limit his articulation. Isn't that fun? And he comes with a tiny version of himself. Here it is. Tiny Gray Matter. So you can have a version of himself to put with your other figures, so it looks like he's there. Also, my personal headcanon is that this figure is supposed to be like life size. This is a 1/1 figure. Like Gray Matter is this small. Also, I also noticed that from the fabric, the paint is like badly done, like it's outside the line. But you know what can you expect from a Chinese factory? This was probably painted by a child forced into labor. And now finally we get the last figure that I had. I was very lucky when Toyland was coming out because I was allowed to go to the capital of my country. A lot of these figures didn't even come to my city specifically. I was able to go to the capital of the country, and there I got these figures. I think the only ones that I got from my city were this one, and this one, and the other ones I had to go to the capital, and some of these were gifted by my family members that I barely remember their name of. And yeah, 4 arms, being that he has 4 arms, gets even more articulation. You know, the favoritism for 4 arms is not only in the show, it's also in the toy line. He has articulation here, he has articulation here, he has articulation over here, in his head, in his knees, and all of that. Now, I'm gonna show you best boy ever, my favorite character that I literally tried all this time to try to get for the longest time. It's Upgrade. Look at him. Isn't he beautiful? Best boy. Like, from the time I was a child to this day, I still think Upgrade is the best alien of the whole show. Like, let's look at him. Also, he gets, because he's the best, he has to be like nerfed, because he got one of the worst figures. He only has 5 points of articulation, and if you want to make him like a stand up, you have to put him like this, because his hands are so big that he's unable to stand. Basically, he has to put his hands in the floor like a gorilla. And now let's continue the aliens with some other ones. Let's do a double take with 2 of the favorite ones. I know there are some of the favorite ones of the show because both of them made it into a reboot. Something fun about this figure is that not only does he have no articulation on his elbows, which is very common, he has the articulation on his knees, and he gets to have his things in his back that you can take off. That is why finding one that has them is really hard. And yeah, I want to start giving you a whole review of all of these figures. I feel like all of these figures really took the time to really look like the characters from the show, and that it was both good and bad, because a lot of these characters were very clearly not made to function correctly. I'm still trying to move his head, but yeah, and some of them did function a lot better. This man right here, when I bought him, I was totally expecting for him to be incapable of standing up because of his weird legs, but actually his weird legs help him a lot. And he has articulation on his tail. Accelerate, by the way. I feel like I forgot to say the name. And one of his hands is open and one of his hands is closed, and you can take the mask off to reveal his face. I feel like I am surprised that losing this thing, like that mask, wasn't more common. A lot of people lost them. And he also has articulation on his knees, even though it's like barely there, really. Because of how his legs function, like that is all that he's able to bend him. But you know, he has the articulation there, so. And the articulation of the tail, it's also very good for standing up the figure. Just look at that. And I think that's all the 10 aliens, right? We're not forgetting anyone, right? I feel like there is this one like like fish dude for some reason. Yeah. I barely remember him. Do you guys remember him? I feel like how many times could he have appeared in the show? Like what? Like 16 times, something like that. This fish man. Hmm. Also, this figure, something fun, really fun about it is that if you look in eBay, you will find a lot of people selling the figure with no jaw. And his name is Ripjaw. That wouldn't be a problem with the Spanish top. I'm not going to say his name in the Spanish top. Yeah. And the fin in his back obstructs the movement of his head. And he doesn't have elbow movement, and his legs are all, like he very clearly has articulation in there. This figure is very fun in that sense. Yeah, the articulation is very clearly there. The problem is that the skirt that he uses enables him from being able, like, enables him from being able. What kind of sentence is that? But yeah, he is not able to move his legs like that, and it also obstructs this other articulation. So he's like, this is sad, man. This figure is sad. Next figure is main event, main villain, Mr. Bilgax himself. This figure is one figure that I had like two different versions, but when I think of Bilgax, personally, I think of this guy. Big, buff, a tentacle man with his tiny oxygen tank looking thing, and his big legs, and his big slutty boots that go up to his thighs. Yeah, this is my version of Bilgax. Also, this figure I also got when I was a child, but much older. Like I found it in a store that was like importing figures from the USA, and he came with a base and a card. Really cool. And if you put it the code, it will. If you put this thing in here, it will give you a code for the website. I don't know if you are able to see it. I am not able to see it. Yeah, it's in there. There is a code. You can Google it. The funny thing is that code was for like a fusion thing, but if you put the one for Bilgax, you will expect that you can fuse your aliens with Bilgax. No, that would have been way too fun. Too much fun. You're having too much fun. You just get a picture of Bilgax. Oh yeah, look, the base from Ghost Freak. There it is. And talking about Ghost Freak, I have the evil one, the evil Ghost Freak, with his tentacles coming out from his chest. Get in there, get in there. There it is. This is a heavy spoiler if you haven't watched the show, but if you haven't watched the show, why are you watching this video? But yeah, he has these giant claws, his backwards head, his evil tentacles. Something very funny about this figure is that it was part of the same series as this Bilgax, and instead of referring to him as evil Ghost Freak or anything like that, he's just Ghost Freak. They make no mention of the fact that he looks different. And he has the same level of articulation as the original. he gets the same articulations, just a lot more detail in the paint. When you look at them side by side, you can really tell the difference. Like man, where did those glass come from? Why don't I have those, man? You know, why don't I have those claws? Why? Where are they? How is this thing covered in the claws? Like everything else, I get it, but where is the claws? And I have the piece that you go here. Also, technically speaking, I don't have the base that will go with this figure. Which, by the way, again in the website will just tell you, oh yeah, this figure is just Ghost Freak. The thing is that technically speaking, this figure is not incomplete. This figure is actually very complete, if you think about it, because this figure also came in like a multi-pack, and in the multi-pack they wouldn't come with the bases and the card. So technically this figure could be complete. And I like to believe that. I like to believe that lie. The next figure is 6'6", and I need an explanation for this, okay? I need an explanation if there is anyone that could ever talk to somebody that worked in like Bandai of America or whatever. I need an explanation for this figure. Because this figure comes with a backpack, it comes with a pair of arms that I have in a bag over somewhere, I didn't even find them right now. It comes with like the accessories that you can take off, and there comes with like a thing that you put in there when you take the accessory off for both of his arms. And he has an incredible level of articulation compared to all of the other figures for some reason. Like he has articulation in here, he has articulation in here, he has articulation on his arm, like here. Like not only is the articulation like this, but also like this. And it's like, why? He has articulation on his knees also, which is like, why? And you can take the backpack off and everything, and it still comes with like a car and a cookie, and it's like, why? Like, why is this figure so well made? Why did the one bad guy minion whatever of Bilgax get the most articulation? Like, he has more articulation than many of these figures combined. Oh, and his head. His head also moves. Like, look at this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. He already has more articulation on his arms. That diamond head. Why? I need an explanation. I need a very clear explanation of what is happening, what happened, why did he get all of the budget, did he steal all of the budget, is that why Upgrade doesn't get his knees articulated? I need an explanation, please, fast. Next figure, it's one that I didn't even expect to own, you see. This figure, it's very fun. It's one of the robots that Bilgax sends into Earth, and you can take his pieces off. And this figure came as an accessory for a figure of Wildmut. When you bought this big figure of Wildmut that came with like a slime and everything, I will put a picture. It came with this as an accessory, and the idea is that you will like bite it off and be able to take this off and everything, and cover him in slime. Yeah, so he has no articulation. You just take this thing off. Very fun. It's cool to have that, at least a representation of those robots, because like Bilgax had a ton of those robots. They could have literally made like a pack I feel like they could make like a tiny pack of just these robots in like a box, like a tiny like army building thing. I feel like somebody would have been excited to buy that. I don't know if I would have been excited to buy that, but maybe I would have bought like one pack. And next, we have the only figure that it's not from the original series, and that is Volcanus. This figure is extremely weird. Not only does he have 4 points of articulation, which in my opinion makes him feel like a McDonald's toy, and this one is one of the ones that is the most scuffed. I like to believe that that is because he was fighting an alien of Ben, so that is why he is like all dirty and everything. And yeah, something fun is that the reason I believe this figure is like all in this like weird pose is because they wanted to make him bigger, but they didn't want to make a bigger box. Like that is my best explanation of that. But yeah, I still wanted just to have him. Now, here is my baggie of cookies. Let me spray my cookies over here. Cookies, cookies for you, cookies for there, cookies everywhere, cookies. I hope you accepted the cookies. And also, this is something that I tried to collect all of them. These are lenticular cards. That is how they are referred in the packaging. And here you can see the one that came with original band. Here you can see the one that came with Hit Blast. Some of these just like the middle one looks cool, and some of them are like automatic like body horror. Like or the therapy one like dude, you look so silly. The one for Accelerate. The one for Accelerate I keep thinking looks more like Ghost Freak. Like seeing the lines and the fact that he's all gray looks more like Ghost Freak than anything. The one for Gray Matter straight up looks like body horror. The one for Forearms also looks like body horror. The one for Stinkfly, I don't even remember. Yeah, also body horror. The one for Ripjaws, yeah. I feel like he's smiling, but he's in pain. The one for Upgrade, yeah, he looks like he's slowly turning into goop. And yeah, the one for Ghost Freak looks very much like body horror. It looks like he's becoming fat. It looks like he's suddenly gaining weight. And finally, I have the one for 6-6, which is literally he's just looking to the other direction. He's just like, oh, what is over there? What? And that will be it, right? But I have one surprise for you guys. One huge surprise. Because I have this guy. Mr. Kevin Levin himself. In his 11 alien transformation. With his heart pumping action, which I am surprised that it still functions to this day, because I can very clearly tell that this is functioning by some type of like bendy material. That is going to be broken in the future. I feel like it's going to be broken in the future. And yeah, something fun about this figure is that because you were supposed to be able to take his arms off, a lot of children broke it. You look on eBay and you will find a lot of things broken, and mine doesn't have a tail and doesn't have the wings. But that is going to be solved soon, but not yet. And another thing is that a lot of people lost this thing. A lot of children just treated their figures like they were garbage. I feel like these figures were not expensive or anything. I really took really good care about for my figures. Especially, you can really tell by my collection of like rescue heroes, a lot of them. I was a child and I was already taking good care of my figures. That is why I could tell that this figure was extremely fragile, because it literally broke on me. And I'm like, fine, I suppose. But yeah, now this is the whole collection. Also important to mention, this is probably my most alive collection. Like, a lot of my other collection is like, okay, this is finished, this is almost complete. Now this collection I'm very collecting right now. You know, I'm getting the nostalgia out before anyone else gets in, and then the figures start going up in value and all of that. I'm trying my best to finish the collection soon. I'm happy that I already have all the aliens. That was one of the most important parts. And you're going to see in some point the rest of the figures I'm gonna buy. But for the moment, remember to like, remember to subscribe, remember to leave a comment, press the like button like this, and yeah. Bye!